Looks like my sweater is alive.
Once it started recording, all of a sudden it just zooms in on not your head for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Do you have it to where it's the two boxes? Like
I
I
do. I saw you. I didn't make one change besides press record. I saw you a minute ago, and now I don't. Now I just see
sorry.
cat butt and V-neck.
Cat butt and V-neck. Well, hopefully that's not the case for YouTube. I see
Yeah, but it's
myself.
weird to have a conversation.
Well, what if, oh, I have an idea.
I fixed it. Wait, no, I fixed it. Yeah.
You did? Okay, then I won't fix it.
I just made you small and then big again.
Okie dokie. Are you ready?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, record.
Okay.
Are you gonna start?
Sure. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to another episode of the In Raw Life podcast. We are super stoked to have you, and I'm especially excited about just this turn that we're taking with our podcast. We used to do longer episodes. We're trying to make them shorter because we've learned that our audience loves short, succinct, actionable things. So that's what we're trying to bring you. And we're also giving it more of a focus to specifically help you with work-life balance, which is what Jess and I are super passionate about. So it's been really fun to like have these messages and these episodes that I feel like are so what you need. I hope. If it's not what you need, then let us know. Send us a message to podcast@inrawlife.com with your thoughts. But also, before we get too far into this episode, Jess, do you want to tell them how they could help our podcast to grow?
Oh yeah, you guys can help us grow. Share us, subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to us. Give us a little review, just like a quick little, oh, I learned so much from this podcast. This podcast helped me blank, whatever it is. I mean, that is going to help the podcast to reach more ears, reach more eyes if you're watching us on YouTube, and just help the world get better at whatever it is they want to get better at. So that's really exciting. It's funny that Sierra's saying she's excited this turn that we're taking and focusing on work-life balance, because I remember when we first started the podcast, we had a list of ideas that we wanted to talk about just for single episodes. Work-life balance was one of them. And we never got to that particular episode, but we've just kind of grown into that's like our whole focus. So I think it's really cool. So if you think it's cool too, make sure that you rate, review, subscribe, so that we can help more people. That's what we're all about.
Yeah. And earlier I mentioned our email address that you can reach out to us at. We'd also love it if you sent us a clip of what balance means to you. So that's our word for the year. And we start out every episode with someone's inspiration of what balance means to them. And we'd love to have you as a part of that as well. So just send us a clip like you heard on this one, balance to me means, and fill in the blank, and we might feature you on an upcoming show.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this episode, let's get into it because it's going to be a super fun one. Hopefully you don't hear the dog barking behind me. Dog? He was up here a second. Anyway, okay, so on today's episode, we are going to talk about our best days ever. Best day, our individual best day ever.
That we can remember.
Best day, my best day, yeah, that we can remember. That's true. My best day ever was day 1. I emerged from the womb. No.
It's a little too raw.
Yeah. And I don't remember it. So, but yeah, so Jess, do you want to talk about your best day ever?
So I don't want to like broad stroke it and say like, oh, this is my one best day ever. Because there are so many and I can't just like give one day or one moment. But trying to think about recently. And even then, like, honestly, you guys, I'm enjoying the heck out of life. The way that I approach life and the way that I approach my days, and especially since I've been following like our system that we've come up with, every day kind of feels like the best day. But I'm gonna give two little peaks. One of
I don't hear you anymore.
you can't hear me?
No, I didn't hear anything after you said two little peaks.
Well, my microphone heard me. So.
But YouTube won't.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
It
But I
could
also
be
won't
you.
be able to respond.
Okay, well, the first one that I'm going to talk about, I'm pretty sure it happened like just last week or something, but it was just a random Wednesday, school day, work day. I, had a great, actually, I'm even going to like look in my planner to remember what I did that day because I don't remember exactly all the things, but it just felt good. Let's see. Yeah, it was just a normal Wednesday. I had like an appointment in the morning and then I had a meeting. And like my normal Wednesday meeting at 11 o'clock, I was checking off work stuff. I had already done so well on Monday and Tuesday that it's not like I had a ton of stuff to be checking off. We had our afternoon talk. I, went to my, went and got my daughter from school, all that stuff. And then even in the middle of the week in holiday season, I was able to take my daughter out to dinner at 5:30 because I was mentally done with what I needed to do. Like I had nothing else on my list that needed to get done for that day because I knew everything was already taken care of. Whatever was tomorrow was tomorrow. So I took my time. Like when usually I'm like sitting, like even if I don't have anything to do after dinner with just the two of us, I'm like, okay, what do we do next? Like she's taking forever to eat, but I just enjoyed it. We were leisurely, and then we took an hour to go look at Christmas lights, and like it was just good when we got home. Jed was home and we just like all enjoyed. And even though she was going to bed late on a school night, it didn't even matter. So like that was like a glimpse of like a very regular day that just that's what most of my days are like. I can't say all of them. We all have our ups and downs. We all have whatever going on, but like that is the general every day in my life. Not necessarily going to see Christmas lights, but but then like another thing, and I think I've spoken about this on the podcast before, we took like a 3 or 4 day vacation at the end of August, and like our typical summer vacation, and we went a couple hours away to the beach and stayed on the beach, and we were like in the middle of business stuff going on. I think we were prepping for a master class that we were putting on. We were like really into building our list at the time. We had a lot of stuff going on, but I was able to mentally check out. Like I told my day job, hey, ahead of time, I'm not going to be in the office at these times. I made sure how to handle that before and after. Told Sierra the same thing. And I was able to just fully enjoy like being by the pool and hanging out and being at the beach and hanging out at night and not needing anything to do besides watching TV, hanging out with my family and reading a book for 3 to 4 days. And it was just amazing because that's not something typical for me where like if I have any downtime, I'm like, okay, what should I be doing? What could I be thinking about? I don't know. But I wasn't. I just fully immersed myself in the moment and enjoyed. And I fully credit that to what we like have come up with because it works. And I was always good at getting things done, but I wasn't always great at feeling good about them and enjoying the moment. So those are my moments.
That's funny because the way you talked about Wednesday is the way I felt about last Saturday. Um, so because I've always been pretty good at enjoying the moment. I mean, I definitely needed some improvement, but I've not been good about getting stuff done and or putting stuff on my plate that I love. I used to like get a bunch of stuff done that like this is what a mom does or this is what Pinterest says to do, and I would definitely fill my plate with things that I should be doing versus things that I enjoy doing. And so on Saturday for me, like, okay, so it's again, we're recording in December, so it's not Christmas yet, and that's why Jess is looking at lights, and I want to be doing Christmassy things too. It's the weekend, and I I was excited to do Christmas stuff with my family on the weekend, but Jess and I had some stuff we're preparing for another masterclass that we're doing in a couple of days. Um and I had a lot of work to do that I was excited to do, but I also was like, oh, I don't want to miss out on Christmas with my family in lieu of work, right? And I was talking to my husband about it, and he's like, you've already done so much Christmas. It's okay if you take a day to yourself to do something that you want to get done, which like I love what we do. I love what we're creating. It makes me super happy. And he he's been really proud of I've been proud of myself. And like every time I'm like, I can't believe this. He just encourages it with like a yeah, you're killing it this year. Because usually, it's right now we're recording on December 21st. Usually on December 21st, I'm still trying to get my Christmas cards together. I'm still doing last minute shopping. Like my head is all over the place. But um this year I've got my Christmas cards probably are already arriving. I don't Did you get yours yet, Jess?
I haven't checked the mail today.
Okay. Well, I bet it's gonna arrive by today. And like they're out. I sent them out on Friday. And um the like all of my presents are purchased. Everything, like we've done the Christmas tree yard, we've looked the Christmas tree farm, we've looked at Christmas lights, we've done the list, we made the Christmas cookies, like everything, we've done it. And so I'm not really feeling like I'm missing out on Christmas. And I was able to take a day to do what I love, which was work with Jess on this project we have coming up. And we worked from 9 to 5, and I like that was probably the fastest a day has gone by for me. And it's so funny because like I compare it to when I worked in corporate America, and I would look at the clock at 10, like I'd work 8 to 5 then. I'd look at the clock at 10 and be like, oh my gosh, it's only been 2 hours. Okay, 2 more hours until lunch, and then lunch. And then it's like, okay, I look at the clock at 2. Oh my gosh, I still have 3 hours. Like it was so like it just drudged on because I wasn't doing something that really lit me up. And now I am doing something I absolutely love, which I know like it's not easy for everyone to get to work doing something you love. But I worked really hard in my life to set up my day to where I can do things that I love. And I also have worked really hard to accomplish the things in a good order. And like I check things off my list more efficiently now, so I have excess time to do the things that I love. So like my work, I guess, is more like keeping the house up and making sure the kids diapers are changed and things of that nature when I'm not playing with the kids. Like being a mom, the hard stuff is my work. And so I get to do what I love on the side, which is this business that Jess and I are forming. And so all day Saturday flew by, which was amazing. So that's like your Wednesday. But to have a day that is like your summer trip, for me, it dates back before we set up these systems, but it was like a one-off occurrence. And it was because I was very, very specific about taking in that day. It was my wedding day, and everybody told me it was going to fly by. And I was like, I lived my whole life for my wedding day. Like prior to my wedding, everything I did from like the moment I knew what romance was in preparation for this giant day, right? So I was like so excited for it. And everyone was like, it's gonna fly by. Take like pause and just enjoy every moment. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, any chance you get, like stop for a minute, take a deep breath, and take a mental image because it's gonna rush by and it's gonna be over before you know it. And seriously, I don't like whoever you are out there that gave me that advice, thank you so much because it was one of the best things I could have done on a day that definitely flew by. And for me, I don't have a good memory, especially not like a good visual memory. But because I knew to do that, I stopped in specific moments. And I have different, like throughout the whole day, I have different moments where I remember pausing and like looking at things and being like, wow, this is this is the day I've been waiting for. Um, and I share that, like, I mean, it could be a momentous occasion for you that you've experienced the same thing, or you may have like a momentous occasion coming up where you want to do this, where you want to do the same thing, where you pause and reflect on it. But like, I feel like we can do that in our everyday life. It doesn't have to be a wedding day or the day your child is born. It can be like anything. And I think that's such a cool ability that we have to make any moment special.
Yeah, when you're really intentional about taking something in and letting it last, you make it happen. I was the
Mhm.
same way with the first 6 months of Emmeline's life. So many people talk about how quickly it happens. And yes, it certainly does, because all of a sudden she's 9.5. But at the same time, it feels so long. And especially, I remember those first 6 months, I was like, I am not going to wish any of this away. I am not going to rush through this. I want to enjoy this. Like that was what I'd been waiting for. That was what I was excited about. So I took my time. Anytime I might have felt that little creeping up, like, oh, I can't wait till she's just like crawling, or I can't wait till she's not waking up at 3 a.m. I was like, no, like this is her now, and I get to enjoy this. And those 6 months did not, like, they felt like they took their time, and I loved it.
Yeah. I really do think it's just about being intentional with the way you're soaking in each moment. Um, I okay, so I have two different sources, two different pieces of research I'm bringing here. Um, but one, okay, so I was doing my devotional today. I'm doing an Advent devotional, and it talked about I don't remember the verse, but basically when Jesus is born and all the shepherds come and talk about like how great this is and how they heard from angels about how great it was. And there's this one verse that said Mary stored up these things in her heart, meaning like it's the day her child's born. All these people are like doting on her child. And she paused in that moment. She didn't say anything. She just stored it in her heart. And I feel like that visual, whenever I read that, it's like an emotional visual. You can't see it, you can just feel it, because I know what that feels like to just
Mm-hmm.
hone in on like, this is my whatever, this is my baby, or this is my project that I completed, whatever it is that you're proud of, and you can just store it. Like you can store compliments or store those feelings of goodness in your heart, which I love. And then my second bit of research. So I get the Magnolia Journal, and I don't. If you're not a big fan of Chip and Joanna Gaines,
Oh,
stick with me, because this is still a good point. Um, I they have a different theme for each quarterly magazine, and this month or this quarter's theme was delight. And in the letter from the editor, which I love to read, um, Joanna talks about how she didn't want to do the phrase delight because she was like, it puts a lot of pressure on you to like delight in the season or whatever. But then she said, once I recognized every day as a place where delight reigns, I couldn't reach fast enough for this theme. So like somehow she was able to recognize that like it can be in the traditions and the exciting like Christmassy moments that you can delight, but it can also be like at the playground or when you're reading books in a cozy chair. And then she said, so this holiday season, we're intent on seeking both traditions old and new, which encourages us to consider long held traditions that spark delight, as well as what we might open our hearts and minds to beginning anew, meaning looking for delight no matter what situation you're in. So I just think that like no matter where you're at, no matter what's going on, if it's a big occasion or it's just the everyday going to the grocery store and ending dinner with your family, like every single moment has an opportunity to delight in it. And you can soak that up. And I think that really helps too with like you can, especially at like since I became a mother, I've always feared like, oh, they're gonna grow up too fast, or what happens when they leave this, this phase. But each phase has delight in it, and if you like are open and ready for it, you can soak it up no matter how old they are. So
yeah. And so, like, when you were just asking those questions, like, what's going to happen, like the worry, what's going to happen,
mm,
whenever you ask a question like out into the universe or God or whatever it is that you ask questions to like that, you're going to get answers. So be really careful about what you're asking, because it will get answered. So like
what do you
ask yourself,
mean?
like if you want to like learn how to soak in the moment more, like when you're doing gratitude or whatever, like think about, how can I be more in the moment? How am I going to enjoy my moments more or delight in the small things more? If you feel like you're not doing that or you want to do more of it, and it's going to come to you. Like that's just
Mm.
how things work because you're focusing on that. And if you ask yourself, like, I can't even think of how to spin that negatively. I'm sure there is, but like if you ask yourself in a different way, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen when they get older? Like that kind of thing, it's going to answer really quickly. And all of a sudden you'll be like, wait, what happened? So
I see what you're saying. I feel like that's all mindset. Like the more you
yeah,
focus on the positive, the more you only recognize the positive. Whereas like the
therefore
more you,
more of it shows up because you're seeing it and focusing on it.
well, I feel like it's all the same. It's just your perspective. Like I remember, so my husband Jay, he used to say like, "Oh, I'm even Steven," because like he would get, a bonus at work. Like say you got a $500 bonus at work, and then we'd get a bill out of that we didn't remember for $500. And like that kept happening. Like he'd get 30 bucks here, and then we'd have to randomly spend 30 bucks. Like it was always really close to the same. And so he'd always be like, "Oh, I'm even Steven." And so I just said to him, I'm like, what if you're not even Steven? What if God always provides for you when you need it? Like he gave you that 30 bucks, and you like, because he knew it was going to come up that you had to get rid of that 30 bucks or that 500 bucks or whatever. So I think like the circumstances are the same. It just matters like your approach to it. If you're going to
Oh
only
yeah.
be like, what happens when they grow up? Then you're going to be sitting there being like, oh, they grew up too fast. And you're going to be missing out on the moment because you're still like dwelling on the fact that they grew up too fast. So it's like I feel like the circumstance doesn't change. It's just your appreciation of it can totally transform, like a complete 180 based on what you're willing to recognize in the way, like the positive or the negative of the situation.
Yeah. But and also sometimes when you have that like higher vibe outlook,
That's
more
true.
good
Better things.
does come to you
Yeah.
because you're putting it out there.
Yeah. I can't deny that. Because I think, and that too, I think like attracts like. Like if you're a good person, like other good people are attracted to good people. So like when you're willing to help, other people see that and they want to help you. Whereas like
Mhm.
if you're a curmudgeon, nobody wants to hang out with a curmudgeon. I'm sorry. They might want to follow you on Instagram because curmudgeon things are funny. But at the end of the day, like I don't think anyone's trying to hang in a curmudgeon kind of
How
circumstance.
many times can you say curmudgeon in a minute?
I don't know. Well, let's do shots. I think we were drunk.
Huh?
I said, let's do shots based on the curmudgeons. And then I was like,
Oh,
boom, we're
oh,
drunk.
oh, 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 oh. I wanted to like play some sort of lightning round game because we haven't in a while, but I couldn't really think of what. Can you think of anything?
Hmm. Mm, most delightful sucky moment. I don't know. Most delightful, like we could do like all the most delightfuls of all the things. Most delightful time that you were, I don't know. I have
Yeah,
no idea.
it's okay. It's
I got nothing.
all good. Well, yeah,
Um,
we that was efficient.
efficient. Once again, we
That's
are
our game.
efficient AF. Mm.
And the dog's about to bark, so perfect.
Dang, I really wish I thought of a good game. I really can't think of one though.
It's okay.
Ooh, I have an idea. It's
Okay.
not so much a game, just a quick boost of excitement. Who is somebody in your life that you feel like
Wait 1 second. Hey, enough.
you tell her, you say, this is not the way.
Well, I didn't want to
This
like
is not
yell
the way.
at you.
Not the Mando way. Not the Mando way.
Paisley's on my bed and she like kind of tried to bark with her and then she saw me close. Oh, dang it. I was giving you kudos, girl, and then you got to go bark. Who is it? What's here? Oh, FedEx. Great.
Hey, check the mail. Is my Christmas card in there?
Did you send me a FedEx package?
No, I just meant check the mail while you're there.
Well, no, because he just drops it at the door. I'm not gonna go all the way out right now.
Oh,
Okay, enough. Done.
oh,
Bye.
is your mailbox at the street? My mailbox is on my house.
Yeah.
I forget that's not normal.
I mean, it's normal in some places. Okay.
Okay.
Started.
So, who is the person in your life or a person you've met, a person you know of that is just like, just beams delight? Like, no matter what they're going through, they're beaming delight, and you're just happy to, like, you love the way they show up for life. I can't hear you anymore. Oh, now
I
I
said,
can.
I whispered, I don't know.
Beam and delight. Beam and delight.
Who's yours?
I was thinking about it. I want to. Hold on. I got to go through the whole list because I don't, like, I have an idea, but I don't want to just like jump to.
Well, that's lightning round, though.
Oh, it is lightning. You're right. Okay. Well, if we're lightning rounding it, then I would say it would be Arrow's teacher, his Montessori teacher, that we interviewed like March of last year of 2020, and because she just approaches life with a positive attitude no matter what's going her way. I mean, she definitely has had hardships, and we got really close while he was in that school, so like I know some of the harder stuff she went through, but like
Mm-hmm.
she still approached it with like a smile, with a can-do attitude, and like a lot of laughter. Like we would joke through the hard stuff sometimes, and people would notice that. Like even, uh-oh,
FedEx is at your house now?
yes, in the form of a baby crying. I think he's over it. Okay. um um but oh, and she's almost 60 now, and when she like walks into a store, people will say to her like, man, you just, like, people notice, they take notice of how much she radiates light, because she chooses. I mean, and she's had a crazy life. I mean, hard stuff has happened to her that I will not share because it is only her story, but she still like chose to show up and to not let life get her down, and to just like keep keep showing up and being like delighted with whatever life brought her, good and bad. And I don't know, I just really love that.
Um, my initial thought is Emmeline.
Oh, I love that.
Um, but another person does come to mind. It was a friend of mine. I mean, she's still a friend of mine. We just don't live anywhere near each other. Her name is Sydney, and she was one of Emmeline's preschool teachers, but I also was one of my coworkers. And she has a very like positive attitude about a lot of stuff, most of the time. And I'm kind of watching her from afar now since she's across the country and like, up leveling her journey and like really stepping into who she is. Because she's like 10 years younger than me. So it's fun to watch. And I would say her.
I love it. Yeah, that was good. Good inspirational lightning round.
That was it. That was the question.
That was it.
There we go.
A person and why. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to another jam-packed, short and efficient episode of the In Raw Life podcast. Next month, we are going to focus on inspirational entrepreneurs. Is that our plan?
Essentially.
That's our goal.
There we
So
go.
get excited. Get excited for next month. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed the work-life balance theme this month, and it's going to carry on. But anyway, yeah, if like I said at the beginning of the show, if you want to be part of the show, send us a quick snip of what balance means to you. Don't be shy. Don't overthink it. Like, it really, you don't have to be nervous. Just send it in, podcast@inrawlife.com, because we want to be able to let you be a part of our show.
And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening to podcasts. We would also love for you to join our Facebook group, Empowered Unstoppable Women. It's actually work-life balance for Empowered Unstoppable Women on Facebook. We would love to connect with you more there. So go ahead and join us if you feel that description fits you. And until next week, I hope that you think about the little delights in your life. Think about who it is in your life that just shines light, and surround yourself with that more, and try to emanate that even more for yourself, just because it feels great, because no one wants to be a curmudgeon. Bye.
So good. No one wants to be a curmudgeon.
Looks like you have a cat tail.
Meow, 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 meow.